which circumstances, why would I not chase every opportunity that presents itself, right? So that's a question I get sometimes. Subscribe here, click the button to set up the alert. If you like this video, click the like button. Well, here's what I hear a lot, right, from entrepreneurs, both born in Canada and not, right? Like sometimes immigrants tend to have stronger opinions about this topic, but also a lot of people born in Canada. People say, well, why would I restrict myself and not go after every possible opportunity that I think I can chase, right? I mean, isn't it better for business? Isn't it the idea to be more creative and go after every opportunity? Let's look at it a little bit, right? Yes, there are benefits, right? Sometimes, especially in certain cultures, it's good for the brand if you show that you can do a lot of things at the same time. It gives you that clout of a conglomerate. Wow, they're good at this, they're good at that, they're good at so many different things. Or sometimes it could be even smaller businesses that seem to be very creative. I hear that from people like, oh, we're really good at solving problems. People bring me a problem that nobody has figured out, and I find an angle, and then they tell somebody else. Every time somebody has a problem, it's not always the same problem, but a problem, they come to you. So sometimes it helps build the brand and trust across different markets and geographies. Say, hey, that's an expert company that you can go to solve your problems. And sometimes the broader, the larger the capabilities, right? How more varied array of things you can do, it can be good to enter different markets, right? And sometimes trust will come from execution in very challenging environments. Say, yeah, we didn't really know what was going on when we walked in, but we were very resourceful. We pulled this together, and that together, and then. So in other words, what I see when people have this belief that going after every opportunity, chasing every opportunity is a good thing, is typically not because people are crazy, it's because they have experienced that in certain circumstances, and that kind of helped shape a belief that that's the right thing to do, right? However, there is a lot of merit as well in narrowing the focus, because, and sometimes people look at it and say, ooh, what do you mean narrowing the focus? Well, that means, oh, we grew because we were bold, right? You're telling me to narrow the focus, I'm going to throw away a lot of opportunities. So there's usually a resistance when I mention that, narrowing the focus. Say, oh no, this is going to be too limiting. Well, we grew because we were creative, because we never said no and we seized opportunities. That's how we grew up to this stage. And if I narrow the focus, then people will not grasp all the overall competence that we have. And I get that. I understand why people will feel like that in many cases. But here are a few blind spots, right? When we have an operating environment when people tend to be very specialized, which is the case in Canada, people kind of tend to fall into a certain way of thinking. Like, if you start to do a little bit of too much, people may not relate to you. Say, well, they kind of are all over the place. I hear that. That's a phrase you hear a lot in Canada. Oh, they're all over the place. They do too much stuff. A lot of creativity and resourcefulness, right, that resulted in very good things for you in different scenarios may not work every single time, right? May not be needed, and even may play against you depending on the situation, because the expectation may be that people are looking for deep expertise in one thing, and if they start to see that you did too many things around that, they say, well, yeah, sure, you're a genius and all that, but I'm looking for somebody that can deliver this, right? So we have to be careful with trying to do too many things, right, and chasing too many opportunities. It's good for a number of reasons, like we said, but sometimes, right, sometimes it can play against you. Right? A lot of creativity sometimes may indicate a lack of focus, and that can be a problem, right? These expectation for a deep expertise come from a place where people tend to specialize a lot with high educational levels, right? People have habit to study things. It's like, okay, let me really understand, get to the bottom of this, right? So people get deeper into the knowledge, right? There are high incentives to innovation. So if people want to learn more about something, you can even get money to innovate, to hire somebody and to get deeper into a specific topic, right? And there is this habit of planning in general in Canada. I don't know, when I arrived in Canada, I came from a place where we don't have very well defined seasons throughout the year, like winter, summer. Well, it's all very similar. But in Canada, I realized people start to buy their winter clothes. If you wait until the winter to buy the winter clothes, you don't find good ones for a good price with good variety anymore. You have to start to buy it in the fall, right? It's like it's a society that perhaps even the weather being so harsh and changing so much throughout the seasons, it kind of drives people in a mentality to actually plan ahead, because if you wait until then to do something, it's too late, right? There is a belief in general in the Canadian business community that a narrow and deep focus is what drives trust. It's easier to believe that you're really good at something if you can see that what you're focusing on, as opposed to being like all over the map. Oh, we can be good at this, we can also be good at that, we can also be good at that. Well, if that seems to be a little too complicated, especially if you're an immigrant entrepreneur born in another country trying to build your success in Canada, we have a platform here for you called Your Business in Canada, where you will be working together with other entrepreneurs like you under our guidance in a way along the way, where we can help you take these steps to build your success in Canada, right? But coming back to the content of this video, like, how can you find the niche with high conversion rates? Because that's what everybody's worried. When people say, I want to go and chase every single opportunity, what they really mean is, I don't want to miss out on opportunities. I need to close sales. I need to have clients. Yes, that's well understood, right? So how can we focus with high conversion rates so you can have those clients? Here are a few things that I've seen people do successfully in the past, right? First of all, need to know the client side. It's not about how wonderful what you sell is or how wonderful your expertise is, how wonderful and how resourceful you have been in the past. It's understanding what the pain is that the client has exactly today, right? Don't try to demonstrate your capabilities too early before you understand what their problem really is, right? So a lot of curiosity, understanding the client problem is the first thing. Second, carve from your background. Carve specifically only a focused success from past experiences, right? Be prepared to provide relatable and quantifiable success. In other words, build cases. Look at some success case that is as similar as possible to the client you're trying to sell to here, and show them only that. Don't show them all the successes you had in too many things. That will confuse people here in Canada, right? Stick to what is in the client's radar. If the client tells you, this is my problem is green, don't go talking about how you can solve blue or red. Just focus on green and say, hey, this is your problem. These are examples where we solved this problem. Once you deliver results in something that is important to them, they will listen to you later, right? Once this paying relationship has been established, then yes, you can start to broaden your offering and start to tell them that, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I see you have this problem. Oh, by the way, that other thing, we also solved that other problem for somebody else. But I don't advise to go with too much variety to people since the beginning. Say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. Just tell me what your problem is, or I'm going to solve that for you. That doesn't seem encouraging and trustworthy enough for people to decide to give you a shot, right? They want to know that you can solve that one problem that they are really experiencing right now very well. Provide evidence of that, deliver the result, get into a paying relationship. In other words, they are paying you, they're already your client. And then if you see other problems that they have that you can also solve, you can start to talk about that by showing evidence and examples of similar situations that you have faced in the past. There are a few more videos here that can be helpful in this journey for you.